Let me ask you something. You think your life is hard, your Wi-Fi lags, your date ghosts you, your food's too cold, and it ruins your whole day. Now imagine waking up in a wooden shack. The floor is mud, the air smells like a sewer, you haven't bathed in 3 months, and your breakfast is a bowl of rotting soup crawling with bugs. You're hungry, you're sick, and there's no medicine, no toilet, and no way out. This isn't fantasy. This was real life. In the Middle Ages. And you wouldn't last 24 hours. Welcome to Histoveins, where we don't sugarcoat the past, we bleed it. Subscribe if you dare. People today cry over cold fries or a missing sauce packet. They crave 5-star dining, TikTok brunches and drive-through burgers. Now imagine eating pottage, a grey, watery slop that's been boiling for days. Bugs and dirt weren't issues. They were just extra crunch. Medieval loaves were rock hard and filled with stone dust, from millstones chipping into the flour. Oh, and if your bread was made from rye, it might contain ergot, a deadly fungus that causes seizures, hallucinations, and slow screaming death. Entire villages lost their minds. When they saw any witch or somebody doing witchcraft, they were burned, all because the baker didn't clean his grinder. Meat was a luxury. But at that time, refrigeration didn't exist, so even nobles chewed half-rotten flesh, spiced to hide the rot. The poor just pinched their noses and hoped not to die. And water? Don't even think about it. Contaminated with human waste, it was more dangerous than ale. Which is why even toddlers drank beer with breakfast. Okay, imagine it's morning and you need the toilet. Literally. It's a tough thing you asked, very tough luck. Most homes had a chamber pot, basically a poop bowl under the bed. Once full, it was flung from the window into the street. People shouted, "Gardiloo," medieval code for watch out for flying poop. Imagine you shout that you pooped and throw it on the streets. Castles had guard robes, holes in stone seats that let waste tumble 70 feet down the outer wall, and public toilets very rare. Some towns had cesspits so filthy the stench alone could knock you out. Still think you're tough? Hungry yet? Would you scream or survive? And if you talk about the worst job ever, I will say gong farmers. Men who cleaned out human waste by hand. They worked at night, reeked beyond belief, and weren't allowed in public. But hey, they got paid well, if you didn't faint first. Okay, now imagine this. It's not Monday, it's not overtime, it's every single day. For the rest of your life, you're up at dawn, no alarm clock, just the rooster and your aching bones. You step outside and guess what? You're already late. Because the sun beat you to it. You plow fields with wooden tools pulled by oxen. You plant seeds by hand, one by one. You harvest crops under the burning sun. No sunscreen, no brakes, no water bottle with motivational time stamps. And here's the worst part. All this, not for yourself. You're working someone else's land. For what? A couple loaves of rock bread. And kids? Yeah, forget school or cartoons. By age 7, they're in the fields too. Or worse, being sent off as apprentices, basically free labor for 14 years. Trades? Sure. If you want to breathe smoke like a blacksmith or soak animal skins in pee like a tanner. And yes, that's literal urine. So if you ever thought your office job stinks, you don't even know. Now say you get sick, no doctor, no clinic, no take 2 pills and rest. You're getting bled, but like they cut your arm and drain your blood into a bowl. Why? Because they think you've got too much blood. Genius, right? Got a fever? They slap on leeches, dozens of them. One medieval guide literally said to use 70. And don't expect clean hands. Nobody even knew what germs were. They thought diseases came from bad air or that mercury was a cure. Yeah, they literally gave people poison and called it medicine. No antibiotics, no soap. Cut your finger? Might as well start writing your will. Half of Europe died from the plague. Half. And if you were a child, your chances of making it past age 5? About 1 in 3. Scared yet? Now let's say you steal bread. Not because you're greedy, you're starving. Here's how justice works. They tie a red-hot iron bar in your hands. Walk 9 feet. If your burns heal in 3 days, you're innocent. If not, guilty, punished, maybe executed. Another one, they tie you up and throw you in water. Float equals guilty, sink equals innocent. Too bad you're dead either way. Executions were events. Crowds gathered, kids included. It was like medieval Netflix, except the main character gets hanged, burned, or torn apart by horses. Rich people, oh, they got trial by combat, like a real-life WWE match. Poor people, you got thumbscrews and confessions beaten out of you. Think war only affects soldiers? Think again. Medieval war didn't come with rules, just chaos. The 100 Years' War? Yeah, it lasted 116 years. Knights had shiny armor. You had a pitchfork. And when they weren't fighting, they were raiding your village, burning your crops, stealing your food, killing your animals, and maybe your family. Sieges, that's where an army surrounds your town and starves you out. You'd start by eating rats, then cats, then, well, things we can't say on YouTube. And most soldiers didn't even die in battle. They died from infections, diarrhea, or starvation on the way to the fight. Now, let's talk smell. And no, not your gym bag smell. We're talking decaying dead goat sweat levels, trash dumped in the streets, animal guts outside butcher shops, people who hadn't bathed in half a year. Head lice? Standard. Lice combs were like today's phone chargers. Everyone had one. You slept in one room with your entire family, sometimes strangers too, and privacy doesn't exist. Clothes, worn till they ripped apart. Shoes, thin leather flaps, not even good for TikTok dances. Beliefs? People thought sickness came from demons. If a comet passed overhead, you thought the world was ending, and if something bad happened, blame the witches. Still think you could survive one day? There's no Netflix, no Uber, no rights, just rot, blood, screams, and stale beer for breakfast. The Middle Ages weren't dark because of no electricity. They were dark because the world was cruel, dirty, and unforgiving. And unless you were born rich, you were born to suffer. Soft chilling. This was Histoveins, where the past doesn't whisper, it warns. Subscribe before history repeats itself.